So my last rant video prompted this response for me, mainly because it's just something in the back of my mind that I feel really that I need to discuss this. Let me just start by saying I have never seen the comment section to a video I made explode ever since me and Loudon decided to talk about Ben the Looney. I guess even after not doing these kinds of videos for so long, I still got the touch. Not the point. However, something I'd like to discuss is mainly all the negative feedback going towards the video itself. Now, before anyone jumps to the conclusion, because knowing the internet there's going to be those kinds of people, no, this isn't about being butthurt. Trust me, if I was butthurt, I'd be a lot whinier, incoherent, and acting over-defensive about what's being said. However, these are things being said that I feel really need to be addressed and put to rest because goddamn, these are some of the most simple-minded, biased people I have ever dealt with, and believe me, it's not just for things like this. It's not just for my video and things like that, because here's the thing. This kind of shit happens everywhere, no matter what the topic is. I'm mainly making this video to re-justify my past actions because, let me tell you something, I don't regret making the choice I did. I don't feel bad about what I did, and I'll explain why. First off, all the people who whined about my video was solely meant to attack someone for simply defending a friend. Not true in the slightest. My reason for ripping apart her journal was because she was defending someone for all the wrong reasons. Now, I would understand if she were to make a journal saying Jay the Neo Kid is someone who shouldn't be harassed or threatened. I can get that, but the minute she said that he doesn't deserve the backlash he got for simply having autism, diabetes, being bullied, and suicidal, that's not an excuse. I know plenty of people with autism who act nothing like Jay and can act like rational human beings. Hell, GamerXZ0 is such a person, and he was in the video with me and Saraven when discussing Jay's actions. Kandathki, another person I know who is autistic, and he's very knowledgeable on the lore of certain franchises, especially the Sonic Archie comics. I even know people outside the internet who are autistic. I've met some at both high school and in college, and yet none of them acted the same as Jay did. So according to her logic, if Jay wasn't autistic and people still mocked him for what he did, she wouldn't give a shit of people making fun of him. Same with diabetes, bullying, and attempted suicide. If Jay wasn't any of those things and people still mocked him, she wouldn't give a shit about what people said about him. The problem with people not liking Jay has nothing to do with him being autistic or diabetic or wanting to bully him or get him to commit suicide. Get that through your head. The reason people went after Jay was because of the stupid, heinous shit that he did while on DA, such as threaten, harass, and even mocked people for all the problems he had. Yet, Curo seemed to have forgot that little detail, hasn't she? Jay is a person who wants sympathy for having autism, diabetes, being bullied, and attempting suicide, yet he's willing to mock and ridicule people who have autism, diabetes, being bullied, or attempted suicide. Is that really someone you want to defend? I get trying to help a friend out, but sometimes you gotta look at the clear-cut picture and realize something is wrong, and by defending him, it's encouraging this kind of behavior. So if Jay continues to do this behavior and he gets berated for it, well, it'll be all on you because guess what? You encouraged it. There's only so much you can do to defend a person. Yes, if there's a misunderstanding going on, it's best to get the other side out. But when there is a physical evidence to providing the person of an action, it's no longer a misunderstanding. Plus, if there is a misunderstanding, you've got to explain what the misunderstanding is. You can't just say, oh, it's all one big misunderstanding, because there needs to be a reason why it is. We can't just we just can't take your word for things all the time. We need reasons. Then there's the people going, your fans are making her upset. I am so goddamn sick of hearing that statement. At what point am I in any control of what my fans do? I saw quite a few references to how if PewDiePie's fan base were to look at a video that he makes saying that he hates someone and then suddenly his fans will go and attack them, well guess what? That's what fans do. They join a bandwagon someone they're subscribed to started in hopes to fit in. You don't have to tell your fans anything because they'll act on their own. Besides, let's say I did say in the video for them to not attack Curo, but they did it anyway, who's to blame then? Would you still blame me for what they did? You can't blame someone over something they had no control over. That's not fair in the slightest. That's like saying Wolverine is a terrible character because he's overexposed. Well, that's not Logan's fault, so why make it seem like it is? Besides, what's to say I can't use the same argument towards you people? Aren't you only here because your friend doesn't like what I said, and you as a band decided to come together and attack the video? The door swings both ways here. Oh, and of course, my favorite line that pops up, "We're not perfect!" Holy shit, was that repeated like a broken record? This is what I love about people right here. We have seriously become so stupid that even if an argument was shot down, people will still use the shot down argument like it still bears fruit. Yet hard to keep the fruit in your argument when it's filled with giant holes. I stated in the video that there's a difference between perfection and just throwing logic out the window. That's what Curo did. She threw all sense of logic out the window without thinking through what she was saying. She says she wanted to stay neutral in the argument when she was clearly swaying towards Jay's side and only his side. How can I tell she was? She said nothing about Jay's stance whatsoever. If she at least said, "I know what he's done is wrong, but..." then her rant probably would have sounded more neutral, because she's acknowledging the mistakes of both parties. That's all it takes to be neutral in the situation, looking at both sides, acknowledging the faults they have, and tackling them both. If she did that, then her rant would have been more solid and actually, neutral. However, she didn't. She took all the problems Jay did to make himself look like a horrible, disgusting human being and swept them under the rug like nothing happened. Keep in mind, we're talking about a person who has been caught lying, cheating, backstabbing, harassing, stealing, abusing, manipulating, hypocritical, guilt-tripping, blaming others, threatening, doxing, and even showcasing personal, private conversations into the public eye where anybody can see them, and yet Curo feels all of this should be just swept under the rug like nothing happened. I don't know about you, but I think some of that information is very important, and I'd really like to know about it before agreeing with her side of the argument. What exactly did he do to get the backlash? She doesn't go into any of that and paints him like he's the victim, which he isn't. That paints a strong bias on her, and considering she wanted to be the neutral party, she's really failing at doing that. This is bullying! I'm going to stop you people right here, because just by saying that, you have no clue what bullying really is. If I was a bully, I would be making Curo submit to my every being through clear acts of violence. All I did was simply call her out on her bullshit. That's something a teacher or a parent does with their student or child does something stupid. So congratulations, according to your logic, your teachers and parents are bullies, because they do the exact same thing to you. At least, I hope they do, because if they don't, that's just a disaster child waiting to happen, and I think juvie has places for people like you. I digress. But what I did was not considered bullying, and the argument people tried to make as to what classifies someone as a bully other than criticism, you people have no idea what either of those words mean. I had some saying criticism is only criticism if you mention some good things along with the bad as well. No, you know absolutely nothing. Okay, let's take the mysterious Mr. Enter on YouTube for an example. He's an animation critic, and he has a series of videos entitled Animated Atrocities, where he takes animated cartoons that are horribly written, horribly structured, and horrible in many other ways, and rips it apart. Johnny Test, Generation 3 My Little Pony, Modern SpongeBob, all sorts of terrible animations. Most of these videos, he doesn't mention a single good quality about the episode he's reviewing. So by your logic, despite the compelling arguments he makes in his videos, or the fact that, compared to others, he's pretty tame about his critique, you call him a bully. He's a bully for saying Modern SpongeBob is terrible. Oh yeah, brilliant deduction there. Besides, I find it funny how all of you are calling me the bully, when the same people doing that have sent me threats of wanting to beat me up in person. I'm sorry, but let me get this straight here. I make a video about someone's incredibly flawed journal, then you guys sent me threats about how if you saw me in person, you'd inflict physical harm to me, and I'm supposed to be the bad guy here? Really, I'm supposed to be the villain. Well, I guess we can all side with Victor Von Doom from now on. Oh yeah, he's terrorized millions of people in the past, and he's tried to take over the world countless times, but the Fantastic Four are evil because Reed Richards says Doom is an asshole. That's basically what you're saying here. You're making my case sound more extreme than what you're doing. Not to say I'm scared of these threats. Oh no, I love getting threats like this because I know for a fact that if I did meet up with any of you people in person, you wouldn't even lay a hand on me. Oh, believe me, I've done it before in person. I've managed to piss someone off so much that they claim they'll threaten to beat the living shit out of me. And I looked at them dead in the eye and I told them, go ahead, right here, hard as you can. They didn't even try to hit me. Instead, they walked away. That's exactly what you guys would do as well. I dare you to actually hit me, and you would be too scared to do it. Besides, I've been through military training where I've learned how to fight and how to use firearms. Again, you're not scaring me with your bluff. Instead, you're making yourself not only look like a petulant child trying to threaten someone over the internet, but you look like such a pussy when you don't do it. Plus, what's really ironic is that you guys call me a bully, yet here you are threatening to harm me with physical violence. Hey, you know who else threatens other people with physical violence? A bully. Again, didn't think that one through, now did you? You don't know anything about her, so what? Why should I know anything about the person in order to call them out on something they made? See, the argument would work if the video I was making was me judging the person as a whole altogether. I only criticized her journal and that's it. I only criticized what was in front of me and what she was doing. That doesn't require extensive research on the person, it just requires reading what's in front of me and finding its flaws. Besides, I can use the exact same argument against you guys since you're only judging me from one video. I could say, oh, you don't know anything about me, and I can use it in the exact same fashion as you guys do. And then what would you say? You can't agree with me because then you'd be looking like hypocrites, and you can't disown it because then that would make your criticism also hypocritical and it'd also make it completely pointless. They're my favorite artist. Who fucking cares? No, really, does it look like I give a shit if you think they're your favorite artist or not? Hey, I like Masashi Kishimoto, but you don't see me bashing every single anti-Naruto video out there, do you? You liking the person has nothing to do with what I care about. It is none of my concern. If I see someone fucking up, I'll damn well call them out on it. Besides, once again, the same argument could be used against you guys as well. Here you are attacking me for what I said, and one of my fans could go up to you and say, lay off, I like him as an artist. What would you do then? On top of that, if we went by that logic, then criticism can't even be given. Otherwise, people like you will bitch and complain about it being directed to your favorite artist, and then you just whine and complain about how they're bullying them. It's a childish way to think, and all it does is proves how biased you are. It shows you don't care for what points are being presented, but more so focused on who the points are directed to. That's called blind loyalty. You have no life! So, taking 20 minutes out of my time to make a video is wasting my life? That's cool, didn't know life went by that so fast. Besides, most of you people took the time out of your hands to bitch and complain about my video, so what does that say about you? What's really ironic is that most people who mock someone by saying you don't have a life are also bullies. Nice stooping to their level. To add something more onto this, Curo took out the time on her hands to complain about people picking on someone, yet all you guys give her a free pass. So she's allowed to take the time out of her hands to complain about something, but I can't? How exactly does that work? She's just trying to defend a friend. Yes, and she did a poor job at it. There is a such thing as a bad defense. Ask the Dallas Cowboys. The point in defending someone is to try and make them seem as there's a bright side to looking at. It's to say, hey, this guy isn't so bad. If that's what she was trying to go for, she was very unconvincing. She stooped to doing the same things Jay did to defend himself. She blamed his problems on other non-relating factors, made countless excuses, and tried to guilt-trip people. I'm sorry, but every time you need to defend someone and a big thing you try to do is point out is, they've been bullied a lot, you're guilt-tripping. You're trying to make people feel bad for calling out someone's shit. No, sometimes having a history with bullying just doesn't cut it. Everyone at a point in their life has been bullied by someone. No matter how many times people try to make a stop bullying campaign commercial, it's never going to work. As for all of you classifying what I did as cyberbullying, here's some problems. First off, if making a rant about something that bugs you is considered cyberbullying, congratulations. You just called Kuro-no-yuki the very person you're defending a cyberbully. Secondly, ranting isn't cyberbullying. Ranting is to speak or shout a length in a wild, impassioned way. Thirdly, even if this was cyberbullying, who cares? Cyberbullying is nothing compared to real-life bullying. I mean, yeah, if you're being bullied by someone at your school, it can be hard to avoid confronting them. However, this is the internet. Hey, guess what, geniuses? If you don't like being bullied by someone over the internet, here's a simple solution. See that little red X button up in the corner? Click it, go to your startup menu, and then click the shutdown button. Oh my god, it's that easy. Cyberbullying you can easily escape from by simply turning off your computer. They can't chase you down, they don't know where you live, so quit flipping your shit. This goes against community guidelines. Wrong. Ranting does not go against community guidelines of YouTube. YouTube is only against properties without their consent being used and harassment. Ranting is not a form of harassment. It just goes to show you people have no idea what the term rant even means. Most of you don't even know how community guidelines work for sites and take them so goddamn literally all the time. Either that or you take them out of context. Hell, there's even people who are on YouTube who are partners of YouTube where all they do is rant about topics. Or hell, just type in rant in the search engine on YouTube and look up videos. You'll get like over 3 million results. Ranting is not against community guidelines, otherwise all these videos would be gone. Now granted, sometimes some rants can go overboard and become very prejudicial and such. I mean, sure, if the guy is being a racist bigot in the video, then by all means, say that's harassment. However, if you feel harassed over someone saying you're an idiot, I think you need to seek help. Someone calling you an idiot shouldn't be the most offensive thing you have ever heard or being said to you. Because that's more so your fault for letting that really affect you. I mean, come on, I'm pretty sure someone out there could have called you a lot worse than an idiot. This video made her leave DA! Big fucking deal. She wants to be a bitch and rage quit, let her. That's not my problem. If she's going to let one little video about her just ruin herself altogether, then that's her own fault. I've got no control over her staying or leaving. It's funny though how you people seem to say you have respect for this person in many ways, yet you can't be bothered to respect someone's decision to leave. Now granted, it's a bullshit reason, but goddamn, the comments from the journal that she wrote, Jesus Christ, you think that she'd be on her deathbed or something? People, she's not that significant. She's a user on the internet just like everyone else on here is. Speaking of journals, there's a few people I'd like to tackle since I feel they're one-upping everything the others did. 2 from DA and 1 specific person from YouTube. Oh, I'll get to him especially. First off, this journal made by Link Tesla. Goddamn, if I can sum this person up in 2 words, it's Bible thumper. I'm dead serious. This person beats the Bible into your head more times than an abusive relationship. This whole, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It's a fucking person over the internet, for God's sakes. Oh, she tried to defend some guy over the internet with a journal. Such a fucking martyr. What's funny about this is this person is trying to bring religion into the subject when the person Curo was defending claims to be an atheist. So bravo, Link, you're trying to force religion onto people who clearly don't believe in it. Now all you need to do is flame the homosexuals and you'll be on the very level of Westboro Baptist Church. Also, doing what's right even to the point of prosecution? Like, legit, you're saying, even despite everything the person has done, all the horrible things they did, all the times they showed they won't change, all the times they've continued to be abusive, we should forgive them? Okay, I guess if I end up being in an abusive relationship, I can just keep forgetting my part because God will look down upon me for doing such a thing. Unless God is beaming bandages of light for my injuries, I'm going to speak my mind out. Then the line of, is it really a sin to care about someone who did wrong? Hey, I'll borrow one from your book. I believe there's a proverb that goes, exploit or abuse your family and end up with a fistful of air. Common sense tells you it's a stupid way to live. So there's even proverbs that say dealing with this shit Jay does is uncalled for. Then again, most of these Bible-thumping people pretend that they know a lick about their religion when they don't understand the simplest of proverbs. Then there's this one named Phoenix Wing 18 who swears to make a video about what I said. All I can say is, put up or shut up. If you're watching this right now, and I really hope you are, I dare you to send me a link to that video when it's done. I want to see it. I want to see when you upload it. I want to see how much of an idiot you make of yourself. And if you don't send me a link, it only proves you're a coward who can't provide me anything so I can hear exactly what you're saying. Especially since I had to go on DA just to see that you're supposed to be making a video on me. So what, you couldn't say that to my face on YouTube where I uploaded my video? Already, you show me that you are a coward. Oh, but then comes my favorite little tweedledum of all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jake the Zorark. This guy is the biggest of pussies I have ever seen. He's that kind of guy who will challenge you to a dick measuring contest, but not have the common courtesy to whip his out first. You send this giant wall of text on my video on Curo, and make it so only certain people can reply to it, which is only the people who kiss your ass. Then when I make my own response calling you out, along with others who have done the same, you pull this I don't care facade. You, Jake, are the biggest pansy I've ever seen. You talk all this mad shit about me, but when I put you on the hot seat, suddenly you want to back out. You can't just go out spouting your mouth off and expect no one to call you out for it. It doesn't work like that. You're a coward. You really are. I feel at this point the video, I got a bunch of people thinking that I'm an asshole, and guess what? I could care less. I really couldn't care less. So many of you guys are a bunch of idiots who never think before they speak, and thinks with nothing but one-sided minds. But before I go, there's one more bit that I want to talk about, and that's more shit that Kuro-no-yuki is spouting out of her mouth. Such as these responses to a user named Zeronotsu I am a fan 7. I'm sorry if I botched your name there. And the argument of autism not being an illness. First off, what I like to point out, this first comment I'm reading here, all you people who go, she's Dutch, she doesn't know about much things of illness. Well, here she understands that disorders are a thing, and yet still fucks up in saying autism is an illness. So at this point, the whole she's Dutch excuse is bullshit. She knows what a disorder is, she acknowledges that it's a thing here, so great job, that excuse is dead. As this whole, if you have nothing nice to say, then go somewhere else, okay? Curo, you do realize Jay, the guy you were defending, is super guilty of this. How often has he incredibly disrespected other people? He cries Bloody Mary more times than a repeated torture victim. I won't bother reading the other things posted since Zeronotsu already put it best for me, but then there's this one part that I feel should be addressed. Swear word parade. So going off swearing makes you disrespectful? Forget Jay being guilty of doing this as well. How about all the people who are your friends who did the same thing to me? How about all those people threatening to beat the shit out of me and calling me such colorful words? Yet you're not going to say a single thing about them being disrespectful? Well, of course not, because why should friends call out other friends on their bullshit? Especially when this is coming from a person who claims to be a 20-year-old assistant teacher. Someone who guides children with autism and hearing problems. You certainly haven't convinced me of any of that. Then this whole, I only stated his conditions, then I asked people to place themselves in his shoes. Yeah, that's guilt tripping. You're trying to put out a sob story. You're proving Zeronotsu's point in saying this. As for, he didn't do anything bad to me, I was alone and he was there for me. Should I kick him in the head for being there for me? No, that's not what people are saying at all. You take things out of context so much, it's disgusting. Again, this person claims to be an assistant teacher. We're not saying you should condone his behavior as a means to backstab him. We're saying his ego needs to be broken because of the way he's acting. This has nothing to do with your relationship with him, and it never did. Oh, he may not have done anything mean to you, but what about the other people he was nasty to? Are you just going to ignore that? I can just imagine your workplace being an assistant teacher. Little Jimmy runs up to you and says Justin is bullying him. You just tell him to suck it up because it's not affecting you. You're trying to ignore the big pink elephant in the room, and it doesn't work. Oh, and look, another person who takes the term grow up literally. I'm gonna keep hammering this nail in, but you claim to be an assistant teacher, and yet you have no idea what a figure of speech is? I'd say you have the same mentality as Drax the Destroyer, but let's face it, that'd be insulting Dave Bautista, and he's done nothing wrong to deserve that treatment. Then there's this shit. To all my Netherlands subscribers or viewers who are watching this, please tell me if this is true, because my American ignorance doesn't know if this is accurate to your culture. Here in the Netherlands, criticism means you first name the things that are good, and then the things that are bad, to have the effect the people being criticized learns from it. Please tell me if this is true, because this sounds so absolutely half-assed. I just need your take on all this, because even someone like me, who's never stepped outside his country, thinks this woman is spouting major bullshit. Oh, and the links you provide to teach Zero-Natsu what real criticism is, each link you provided was only for making constructive criticism. I'm sorry, I thought we abandoned constructive criticism back in 2012. Kuro, you do realize there are different kinds of criticism. Not all criticism is going to be constructive. There exists something called harsh criticism. Amazing how, well, again, I gotta keep hammering this in, how you claim to be an assistant teacher who claims to guide children into the right direction and not know the first damn thing about what criticism is. Oh, and I love this bullshit apology you have at the end here. Oh, I apologize for calling you a dumbass, but before I do, let me just say how much you'll fail at life for putting things bluntly for stupid people. However, the last thing I'd like to cover is this post she made right here in response to Zero-Natsu. You know, it's funny how this person preaches about how insulting and being blunt and forward with people is being rude, and yet look at this bitch. Aren't we the innocent little victim? Hey, Sir Raven, I do hope you're watching this, because I recall you saying she was at least a reasonable white knight to talk to. Now I'm curious about what you think of this post. She's already turning the complete 180 and doing exactly what she said was wrong of me to do. Now, before any of you people go, well, you guys did it to her first. No, there's a huge contradiction in her doing it. Now, I'm not going down the whole two wrongs don't make a right, because to be fair, there's nothing I love more than people on the internet getting a dose of ironic medicine. However, what I will bring up though is that this bitch was going around saying how people shouldn't be rude to others, name calling is hurtful, and people need to be nicer and more positive with their criticism to other people. Yet look at her now, calling the guy a fuckface, blocking him for no good reason at all, and look at this last sentence here. You can just smell pretentious fumes just emanating from this asshole. Like, she thinks she proved a point or something, even though she's done absolutely nothing to back herself up, and she's been disproven multiple times before by different people. Amazing how some people will think they're such intelligent, witty people when they haven't accomplished anything. I'd imagine it's just compensation, but I'm pretty sure that she doesn't have anything worth faking. Unless we're talking about a brain, then maybe there's something we're pretending. Seriously, look at this bullshit compared to what she wrote in this journal. For someone who wants to spread the love, you sure are quick to throw out the insults. Besides, I thought you said you left DeviantArt. Yeah, the journal you posted on DA saying you left was posted on the 13th of August, and this comment I just read at the time of this recording is posted on the 22nd of August, which was yesterday. Again, at the time of this recording. What's the matter, Kuro? I thought you said you were leaving DA. Why are you still responding to comments then? Was the I'm leaving journal just meant to get yourself pity? Did you just tell people you were leaving only to scheme to get people to treat you as a victim? When it was really your own stupidity that screwed you over, I'm going to take a special little quote from my buddy GWS Man and say, "This is DeviantArt." Seriously, speaking of this journal, it's so riddled with bullshit. It shows this dumb bimbo doesn't listen to a damn thing anyone says to her. She keeps going on saying, people saying me being neutral is an evil thing to do. No, you dumb bitch. We told you that you aren't being neutral. You're not being neutral because you show clearly that you're taking up one side of the problem. When you defend one side without giving any leeway towards the opposing one, you're picking a side, and thus not being neutral. Let me read you the definition of the word neutral since you have no clue what it means. Neutral. Adjective. Not helping or supporting either side in a conflict, disagreement, etc. The key word being not helping. That means you're acknowledging the problems of both sides, which you never did, Kuro. You only told people to stop bullying Jay as if he did nothing wrong, when he's done plenty wrong. That's what people are saying. But then again, if people are still trying to tell you this, then you clearly will never understand, so why am I bothering to bring this up? I don't know, maybe just simply point out the fact that how ignorant this dolt really is. Then there's the guilt tripping, and the whole, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. It's so hilarious to see how much Kuro herself is replicating some of the things Jay did that got him criticized, and yet she somehow still misses the point. I'm dead serious here. Kuro is doing some of the same things that Jay did that got him criticized. She's playing the victim, taking people out of context, guilt-tripping, lying, acting completely two-faced, praising herself for doing nothing of importance. It's also hilarious how much she's turning into him. I'm starting to believe the whole stupidity being a virus thing. I think this is where I end things off. I said plenty enough. It's funny because before reading the recent stuff Kuro posted on her DA, I was actually considering that she might be somewhat of an okay person. Sure, her common sense was very lacking, but I dealt with people who were like that, but still managed to find some good in them, to be able to actually communicate them with them and such. Now, I see no reason to look for any good. If you're just going to abandon your beliefs at the drop of a hat just to boost your own ego, fuck it, you're not worth looking for something to compliment. As for the people defending her, you people are so gullible to see what she's trying to do. She's trying to get you to feel sorry for her by bashing the people who speak ill about her. That's all she's doing. She's trying to get you to feel sorry for her by bashing the people who are criticizing her just to make her feel good. At least when I made my video to call out Curo on her bullshit, I actually intended to bring correction to her problems, to give reasons to what she was doing was wrong. So, you know, people like Jay don't get reproduced in the future, because that's the last thing we fucking need. At this point, if she does leave DA, I'd feel nothing of importance was lost. Besides, she'll be back on FA where she belongs, and she can have all the sexual pleasure she needs there. Forever alone, they all say.